Welcome. Today we're preparing for our trip to head down south to Nashville, Tennessee. Then we're going to swing over to St. Louis, Missouri. And then from there we're going to head back up to Wisconsin. Alright, this is our RPod 193 and a few modifications that we have done. One would be up here we just put our Fire Stick in the back of the TV, and then I have a 1/8" stereo jack that I put into the headphone out jack of the TV, and then that gives me a right and a left, which I've then came with this, and then that runs up to the stereo, so that allows me to put the TV sound through the stereo system, which we then would just run on the auxiliary. So that's nice when we're watching a movie or something. You are able to use the speakers, and it gives you a much fuller sound than just the TV. Other things that we've done, I'm going to take you guys down here, excuse my hand, is we have removed this entire, there's a cargo netting thing in here, so I'll have to show you a before shot of that. But that was a pain. It got in the way of trying to get stuff easily in and out. Now we can put large bins of all different sizes and shapes underneath here. They don't really move around in transit that we've noticed. But I also needed to finish off the edges because that was just an exposed 2x4. And then you can see up here I've got a aluminum extrusion that runs the full length, and I'll have to get you the dimensions on that, but I screwed that in to the up in here and then up in here as well. And the nice thing is that that really helps support the center weight of the couch when you're sitting on it, because before there really wasn't anything supporting it. That the piece that was in here was too flimsy to support any type of weight. So this is something that we so far are really happy with. I'm trying to think what else we've done in here. Really not too much else. Like I said, I'm in the middle of getting this set up for the season. We've got paper towel holder here. I ended up making a little block that was the same depth as this, and then I was able to kind of color it to match it a little bit, but I didn't get the underside. I gotta do that, and then just screw that in there. We've got a towel holder here that I've got screwed into the door with some really small screws that just prevents it from flopping around, and then it just hangs over the top. That seems to be, this is working really nice. Another thing that I recommend, and this is probably not limited to the RPod, it's probably many RVs, is to change out these screws right here. The ones that they put in there are, I don't know, 1/8", 1/4" maybe. So what I've got in here, I think it's either 3/4 or inch long screws, but those then really get into here, because these things would come loose during travel, and then before you know it, this would be sideways and your cabinets would be open and stuff would be spilling out. So I did some of the main ones, like I did this one here, I did this one here that's on our closet or whatever, and then I also, the biggest one that was the issue was the one down here where we keep a lot of our kitchen stuff. So that one, again, I'll show you. Just changed out those screws with some longer ones. Other things, this microwave here, this is coming out a few times, which is really kind of a pain. So what I've done is unscrewed, we got six of these here, and then this bezel frame screws into the microwave. And so what I've done is I've probably put, I think there's 2 that are normally in there, and I've put in 3 on each side, and I've used a larger screw. I don't know, maybe they were number 6s or something that were in there, and I maybe put in number 10s. So far that seems to be holding up. We'll see how this trip goes this spring. I think that'll be a good test to see if this and what was happening is the screws were backing out and the whole microwave would like push inward. So we'll see how this few thousand-mile trip goes with those new ones. Other things that are kind of a pain is that these screws here, yeah, this one's loose already after about a half-mile drive, and then this one here. So I try putting in again a larger screw. I've gone in and I've taken the little clips in there and tightened them up a little bit. So I'm gonna have to take a look at that and see if there's anything that needs to be adjusted. But these pop out a lot, and then before you know it, this whole thing is kind of moving around. Other thing I like to do is we have just a little temperature sensor. I either keep it in there, or I'll put it up just in like one of these clear bins here, and then I keep the transmitter is just in the refrigerator. Just if I can open it up, I just keep the transmitter in the door. I'll just show you what our cupboard looks like up here. Right now some of the bins are empty, but we'll keep food and stuff, paper plates and things, coffee, all that kind of stuff will live up here. And then our food will live in the pantry over here. Also keep all of our RV documents here. Keep any of like the warranty information, all that stuff just travels with the RV in case something comes up. Got any questions, I can always refer back to here. And then I always keep my winterizing and dewinterizing book right here. Some cases with how we're traveling in the spring, I may need to dewinterize before we go, and then, or maybe dewinterize on the road, and then we may need to winterize on the way back. So it just depends on the weather conditions. So I just like to have that with me because when you're traveling with a few kids, it's easier just to go through a checklist. And this one I thank John Marucci for. I took this off of his website. He provides very good information on very step-by-step, very good information for people to follow. So shout out to him. And then down in here we just keep some of these slide-out drawers, and you can see how much room is still in here. So we may put stuff in front. We're still exploring with this space. These work really nice for now. We already had them. When you first get into RVing, the expenses, it's a big cost to undertake. So then you try and find things around the house, like shelves like this that you already have that you can put in the RV to help cut those expenses down. And then as you get yourselves in a better position or whatever, then you can start to buy some of those things that'll help you out. Take a look around at anything else. There's really not too much else. We've had issues with this front window, and this is now the warranty work that they do to fix this. This is like a technical service bulletin that they had out, which was to add, it looks like, 4 clips and some 4 screws that they don't even color the heads, so they just stand out like a sore thumb. That's disappointing, so I might touch those up with some paint or something. But what happens is that whole thing bows, and you could probably still see a little bit of the bow in there. It's plastic, and it gets heated by the sun, and it starts to warp. I know I've seen a lot of people doing RV reviews, and those like European style windows are in there. I don't like it. I think it's, at least this one, maybe if that extruded channel there is made out of metal, some type of aluminum or steel or something, maybe some kind of rolled steel, but something other than the cheap plastic, maybe they work really well. But in our experience, those things, they're very cheaply made. And then in the RPod as well, a little thing frustrating is that it's a straight window, but the front is curved. So if you wanted to keep your front window open to let in air, and then put down the screen to let in the air, bugs and mosquitoes are still going to get right through that crack right there. So unless you come up with a solution to screen that off, you're not going to be able to open your front window, drop down the screen, and not have bugs come in. That's disappointing. Another thing, we put in a piece of fabric right here, and it's held up by a really small, well, it's a compression shower curtain type of things, and so I've got that up here, and we like this. I've read reviews on the thin shades, and for how much you got to pay for them, the reviews don't seem they're not very positive. They seem to be cheap and they fail. So we've gone with this where it's always in place. However, one thing you got to keep out for is if you get a lot of moisture in here, you will need to take that off, let everything kind of dry out, and then you can hang it back up. But I wouldn't just, leave that up and not check on it. Other than that, I mean, you got command hooks that we like to use in various places for keys. Put some command hooks over here for hats and things like that. We do need to figure out a solution to this bed, because when you fold the bed down, the edge here of the bed does not line up very well with this right here, which is what it's supposed to rest on. Right now we've got a board jammed in here to help push this way so the bed has something to rest on, but kind of a poor design, very poor design in our opinion, by Forest River on that one. Then else we just have a carpet down in the kitchen, and then we have an entryway carpet. We like to keep things, dog leash, dog bowl, a little broom, dustpan in here, fly swatter of course, and then just a little rag or whatever. But that'll do it for now. I mean, we've got some other things on the outside, but I just wanted to give you guys a quick tour of the inside. Again, this is just getting ready for the season, so it's kind of doesn't have a whole lot of stuff in it yet, but maybe we'll show you a trip out on the road. All right, take care guys, bye.